Hi, I'm Anna from Etsy Shop Mythography, and today I'm going to do a tutorial on backgrounds, specifically brickwork. First of all, I'm going to just use the texture of my drawing table to show you the difference between using the texture that's behind it and using a smoother board underneath it. Now I'm going to put the same colour on this drawing board. It's called a shizaki, I think. It's a Japanese item that I bought from a manga shop in Croydon ages ago, and it's just really smooth. You can get a similar effect of smoothness just by colouring over a magazine, but as you can see, it's very different colouring on my drawing table. It's got a really rough texture on there. That's just to show you the difference that texture makes, and you can add the texture to the bricks using anything that you might have around your home. Maybe you might have an old piece of cardboard or something, anything that can get that roughness into the tooth of the paper. So I'm going to start with Goldenrod, one of my favourite Prismacolour pencils, and I use this one for everything from backgrounds to skin tones, and well, it's just really versatile. If you don't have Prismacolours, I'm sure there's another colour you can use. It's sort of a sandy orange brown. And I'm just going to choose some random bricks to colour in. This next colour is pale vermilion. And again, I'm just going to colour in some random bricks really loosely, so you can see that I'm making the texture quite rough and the drawing table's texture is helping. I'm not blending these very well, just so that it has flecks of white from the paper's tooth showing through. Adding some darker colours, so next it is light umber. I'm shading quite roughly here, and it doesn't really matter if you go over the lines because we can blend that out later. So we've already got quite a few colours in, but I'm now going to use some sienna brown. Some of the colours look quite similar on my phone, but in person you can tell that they're different. So it's looking a bit more complete now, but I'm still adding colours. This one is terracotta and it's a lot darker than the other ones I've used so far. Next is burnt ochre, and again filling quite roughly, and I darken some areas as well because obviously bricks are not really a uniform material. They all have their little burrs and imperfections in them. Now I'm going to go over the whole thing with sienna brown. Just to burnish it and just to keep all the colours together, like I did before with the sky tutorial, when I went through just making sure that there was flecks of blue all the way through. So now I want all the colours to have the brown that's uniform over the top, but you can still see the other colours coming through, like the oranges and the yellows and the other browns, just to add an extra layer on there. But I still don't want to blend them too much because I don't want to lose the unevenness in the texture from the table itself. Well, around about this point it's looking a lot more even, so I'm going to go and add some extra details with the same colour just to darken it. As you can see, I'm doing it quite randomly, so darkening the bricks on one side or the other, maybe making a few little cracks in some of them. You can add as much detail as you can think of, or as much as you want, or as little. You can leave it very simple if you want to. That's probably about as much as I'll do for now. So what we need to work on next is the mortar, which I do with this amazing shade called Putty Beige. I use this one a lot for so many different things. If I run out of white, I use it to burnish things as well, because it's just about pale enough. In fact, it's so pale you can't really see it. I'll try and get a bit closer in a minute so you can see the difference it makes. Now you can start to see that it's blending and that it is actually shading the spaces in between. I'm going to speed this up now because it takes a while to fill all these cracks in and it will make the video a bit too long. So now that's the whole background finished, and you can either leave it like this with this kind of soft effect, or you can do what I'm going to do next and use dark brown to go around all the bricks and add some more details. Again, this is going to take a while, so I'm going to speed it up in a moment. Now I've gone around all of them, I'm just going to go over a few bricks and add some texture to them. It's pretty much finished, but what I generally tend to do as a final touch is add a bit of green. So apple green I'll use to add some water damage and moss to the bricks, as if water was running down the side of the building, as it's pretty much doing where I am today. It's really raining here, and over time it just forms those little bits of moss, and when you're doing this you can just carelessly go over the bricks in whatever pattern you've decided it's going to follow. Go over some of the bricks as well so that they get the little flecks of green in them, as if bits of moss are going on them. I tend to use about 2 different shades of green and a shade of yellow just to highlight certain areas. And you can go over it in feathers or strokes or just little circles, whatever you like to do. Again, I'm using the texture of the table behind to give it that scrubby, rough quality. Just a little bit of yellow to lighten it in places and make it look more authentic. Final touch is a little bit of darker green. I'm using grass green, but you can use any darker green just to get those edges, make it look a bit more distressed in some areas, a bit more shadow. This is done now, so if you have any ideas for any other tutorials, please let me know in the comments. What do you think?